Is this thing on? Welcome back to Big Mouth, and fancy seeing you here in June. Are very welcome, my friends, and especially my enemies. Come in, sit down, no touching. I don't do the touching. Welcome back to Big Mouth, and you can keep this or any other conversation I incite going constructively at my Twitter, at Movies TV Mad. And welcome to Bloggers versus the Fans. Right, who's heard of Robert Meyer Burnett, should I say? Sorry, Robert. It's the only thing flattering I'm going to ever say to you, or the only time I'm ever going to apologise to you. Right, Robert is a YouTuber. I first saw him on the John Campea show. He spoke very well. He seems very intelligent. Robert now has his own YouTube channel, but he's also embedded in the entertainment industry, or he certainly has connections, just like Campea and the rest of them. These are people who have failed in the industry and now making careers on YouTube. Now, many of you subscribe to Robert. I'm sure you love him and his opinion is very important to you. This is what he thinks of you. The monumental disrespect shown to Kathleen Kennedy by the fan community is precisely why fans have no credibility in the hallowed halls of Hollywood. She produced literally 3 decades of fandom. You want to discuss her supposed failures. First admit her success. Period. Period means what he says stands and what you think and says doesn't stand. So first of all, let's talk about this. She has been a great producer for 20, 30 years. Or her name's certainly been on a lot of names. But her success is the same as any people's success in connection to the entertainment industry in Hollywood. It's not about talent. It's about being at the right parties, being related to the right people, and going and basically praying to the right God. That's all Hollywood is, right? And basically, she was put in charge of a major studio. Basically, she was put in charge of Star Wars. Now, this is really George Lucas's fault because he insisted in this. And basically what happened, she was swallowed up by Iger and Disney. She did their bidding and it's gone totally, totally wrong. That's the truth. Now, I don't support toxicity towards any human being. You can be constructive with your criticism towards Kathleen, but some people, yes, do take it too far. But what is he getting his britches in a notch about, right? Why is he defending her? So basically, that's why, basically, the Hollywood Halls of Power, the Walk of Fame, nobody cares about what we have to say. Yes, Robert, I can tell. You know how I can tell? How they are failing with nearly every film that isn't comic book kind of connected. Yes, so we can tell that, Robert. This is what I quote tweeted Robert. Well, I quote tweeted quite a bit to Robert because I was very, very angry. And this is what happens. This is what happens, my friends. So I'm going to tell you everything that I said. So he talks about the halls of Hollywood, right? And us basically not being heard in those halls. So this is the part when I started quote tweeting him. You mean the same halls where they use and abuse young girls who arrive in Hollywood with a dream, who leave broken or dead, the ones no one talks about. Yes, Robert, let's talk about abuse, the abuse you won't do a video about. And that's just the beginning. Yes, Kathleen has been abused, but let's not pretend we are dealing with an innocent here or anyone else in that corrupt town. But oh yeah, these bloggers will protect them. They're part of the corruption. And I genuinely believe that. Robert was the one that leaked. Yeah, no, actually, I don't have to read this. I don't actually have to read that, right? Robert was the one who leaked Colin Trevorrow's Duel of Fates Star Wars script. This was going to be Star Wars Episode 9, right? This was going to be the final part of the Skywalker saga, as Lucasfilm were framing it, right? Robert Burnett, right, actually leaked this. He did a YouTube video about it in a few parts and he leaked it. Let's remember who Colin Trevorrow is. Colin Trevorrow is the man that was sacked by Kathleen Kennedy. Robert, what did you think was going to happen when you leaked that and everyone started saying Colin Trevorrow's script was better than J.J. Abrams? Kathleen Kennedy this, Kathleen Kennedy that. What did you think was going to happen? You absolute hypocrite. These bloggers are an absolute disease and we don't need them. The news they break, we can get it from other sources. Unsubscribe. You, the people who follow Robert Meyer Burnett, Campier, and these other people, right? I won't call them anything else because they are a disease. They are. They grab hold of you. They manipulate you. They get into your thinking. This is where film and TV's gone now. It's gone now. We don't talk about what's in the films. We talk about the drama that goes on around the films. Birds of Prey, a great example, right? This is what happens. That we've given these bloggers far too much power and too much authority, right? These are the ones who manipulate the toxicity. Hollywood is a place that makes beautiful art, or at least it used to, right? But behind the so-called halls of power, the corridors of power, like Robert frames it, right? There's darkness there. There's crimes committed. Is he going to talk about that? No, because he's part of it. These studios use these bloggers as a buffer between us and them. And we must stop giving them the power. I'd rather people like you who go and watch the films and TV shows start YouTube channels and believe you me, I'll share you on every social network I've got an account on, and I will promote the hell out of you, right? Because at the end of the day, rather you with your opinions than them. They are the devil sitting on your shoulder. Look what they did to Ben Affleck. Do you remember the unhappy Affleck meme? Do you remember that? It was them. They kept it in the public eye and they loved it. This man was suffering with alcoholism, right? This man was suffering. He didn't have that unhappy face because of the box office, although that must have made him sad, right? With the big drop-off in the second week. The man was suffering and they loved it. And let's forget the fact that he was suffering with alcoholism. Let's just say he was a bit upset over the box office. Is that something to crow about? But they kept you crying about it. And this is what's happened with the MCU fans between the DCEU fans. This war, let's destroy everyone. Let's one-up each other. That's all it is now. That's all it is. I'm done with these bloggers. They are the disease. They are the devil sitting on our shoulders. And we must stop watching their videos. We don't need them. We don't need them. This man talking about us, toxic fandom, when he did a video leaking the script from the man who Kathleen Kennedy sacked. And then he does that big tweet saying, this is disgusting, the toxic fandom, and this is why fans have, nobody listens to fans in the halls of power. Aren't you an amazing man? Aren't you an amazing moral man? No, you're not. You're the toxicity, Robert. You're taking people's super chats with one hand, then calling them toxic, when really you are the toxic one and your fellow bloggers. The destruction of Collider shows that. Who are Collider now? Celeb News? What are they doing? This is what happens. Collider destroyed themselves because they abused the fans. They abused the DC cinematic universe every opportunity they got. They trod on us, they broke our hearts, and they made sure those films failed. That's how it works. They are a disease. Look what they did to Zack Snyder. They went on and on about Man of Steel, but especially Batman v Superman. What a terrible film. What are DC going to do now? What are Warner Brothers going to do now? They incited the drop-off in the second week. And they not only incited it, they loved it. They are the devil sitting on our shoulders. And I'll repeat, we do not need these people. I'm very upset and very triggered by that because I'm not a toxic person. I'm not. I mean, we all have toxicity inside us. And I think social media incites that in us sometimes and we try and keep it calm, but we can't. But ultimately, I love movies. I love storytelling, and you do too. But these people, they do not. They don't love films. They say, I went to the cinema, I went to the theatre. Sorry, they don't say cinema, do they? They say theatre. So I went to the theatre with my wife, and it was so amazing. And I came out, and I just loved the movie to death. Coincidentally, they're always talking about Disney movies. It's corrupt, my friends, and we shouldn't give them the power. They are making hundreds and thousands of dollars out of you and your super chats a year. Don't give them the power. It stops now. It stops now. This tweet shows me who are you dealing with. We make people like this. This is a failed individual from the movie industry. Because if he wasn't failed in the movie industry, he wouldn't have a YouTube account. He wouldn't have been talking on Campia's show. He's a failure in his own industry, and now he's sucking the fans dry. He's basically like that partner you may date. Basically, you think you've got a great relationship, great lover. Behind your back, they're basically doing 6 to 10 people a night. This is what he is. He takes your money, he takes your super chats, then he calls you toxic. How dare you? It's not you who've created anything. It's us. Hollywood can make as much as they want. They can make the content. But if we don't go there and if we don't support it, they have nothing. That's our power. If we don't subscribe to your YouTube channels, you don't have 100,000 or 1 million subscribers. It's simple. We can destroy each and every one of you because we have that power. And I'm sick to death sitting there. I wonder if the critics are going to like this movie. The Rotten Tomatoes scores. What are the bloggers going to say? I'm sick to death of it. I just want to go and enjoy my movies. I don't want to give these people that power anymore just so I can get one up on an MCU fan. It has to stop. It has to stop. We must take them down. We must stop subscribing. We must stop giving them the views. They're calling you toxic. And all you're doing is saying, I don't like what Kathleen Kennedy's doing. And that's toxic, right? That's toxic because we're unhappy what's happened to Star Wars and we're talking about it. We are the people who go and watch the films. You say that we have no ear in the halls of the power structure in Hollywood. If we don't have the ears, the people that they need for us to put the money on the Ticketmaster so they can make money, right, then what kind of industry is that? Whatever happened to the customer's always right? Oh, yeah, you stick 2 fingers at the customer when their back's turned. We all did that. I used to work on a deli counter. No breaks, gasping for a cigarette. When they turned their backs after, they said, ooh, that ham on the bone isn't very thin. Doesn't look very nice. Well, behind their backs, I used to say, well, you're not going to bloody frame it, are you? You're going to eat it. That's the way it works. But you don't disrespect the hand that feeds you. But these people do. They are laughing at you. They are laughing at you. They are laughing at you. Every time a film's released, they create the narrative. They created the narrative that Birds of Prey is a failure. And guess what? Birds of Prey is not a failure. It's not a record-breaking successful movie, but in R-rated terms, it's doing extremely well, actually. Already made bank, already beaten its own budget. It's doing well, and it's a nice little film. Yes, a little film. But they've convinced you that every bloody film has to make over $1 billion. Over $1 billion. It's in your mind, $1 billion, isn't it? Admit it. Shazam didn't make $1 billion. It's a flop. Everyone loved that film, but it's a flop. No, it made more than its budget. It made a nice, neat profit, and it's coming back for a sequel. These studios don't make sequels from films they consider flops, by the way. That's why Justice League's not getting a sequel, and that's why they've done a course correction with the DCEU, which we discuss on the DCEU Daily on this very channel every day. Who am I? I'm a fan. I'm a fan. I love films. These people are the actual disease. They really are. And I'm angry. I'm very angry because they're taking advantage of us. They're taking advantage of our hunger for escapism. They are not your friends. They are not. John Campia, Robert Meyer Burnett, or whoever else you follow. Every time a DC movie's out, I've got to listen to them putting down something that I believe in, something that I love. There's one thing to have an opinion, and it's another thing to crush people and to create this situation. Toxicity. Toxicity. These are the very people with the very channels that incite the toxicity. Before I go, I'm going to reread you what he said, just in case you're still thinking I'm talking crap and I'm some angry dude who doesn't get it enough, right? The monumental disrespect shown to Kathleen Kennedy by the fan community is precisely why the fans have no credibility in the Hollywood the hallowed halls of Hollywood. She produced literally 3 decades of fandom. You want to discuss her false failures, first admit her success, period. I admit her success, but nobody knows the level of success because she never directed or wrote any films. She literally was the producer behind the scenes. We don't even know what she did, right? We don't even know. There's so many levels of different production in a film that you don't really know their contribution, right? But she was there. She was there behind the scenes on a lot of successful movies, and I give her credit for that. But to run a studio, she's proven that she cannot do it. She's proven that she can't do it. It doesn't make her a bad person. I still don't think she's an innocent. No one's an innocent in that corrupt town. I've said before, they make some beautiful things, some beautiful movies, and they have some very talented people. It doesn't mean they're good people, but that's how they project themselves, because they pay hundreds of thousands of dollars to people to keep their reputation clean and make them look like the angels rather than the demons. But we're the demons. We're the demons because we react with passion. We react because these things, as sad and pathetic as it sounds, is our life. Superman the movie was my life for years. Man of Steel is still my life. Batman v Superman, the DCEU, Smallville was the emotional crutch I used when I was alone and I was feeling suicidal and depressed. I didn't even have a job, right? These things mean a lot to us. They're our hearts. And I know it sounds pathetic to a lot of you people watching. I've been told that before. I'm just a sad little nerd. I am. But these things mean a lot to us. But to the people in Hollywood, it's just a job. And I get that. I don't criticize you. Of course it's just a job to you. I understand. But these bloggers that you're using as a buffer between us and you has to stop. They need to be taken down. They need to be decommissioned like an old car that simply doesn't do the job that it's bred for. These people are supposed to serve us while making money and getting popularity for themselves. I accept that. But if you're going to sit there and tell me that I'm toxic because I'm criticizing someone constructively, then you are the problem. These people instigate so many problems. So many problems. They stir it up. You watch the John Campea show every day and see what he says and see how he attacks people sometimes as well. He's part of the toxicity. No, I'm calling time on these bloggers. And I plead with you. I beg you. These are the people who think nothing of you. They think you're a piece of crap. Unsubscribe today and show them who holds the real power in the entertainment industry, because it isn't in the hallowed halls of Hollywood. It's us, the consumer. And it's time to show them that.